Hey, beautiful humans, welcome back to the Love Unleashed podcast and YouTube show with your host, me, Nikii. I am a leading love and relationship coach, and I'm on a mission to empower women in love to ensure that you get to experience the most incredible relationship of your dreams and not only survive, but really thrive in your relationship. How's that sound? I'm like, hell yes. So if you don't already, then please make sure you head over and join me on Facebook at Nikii Syme, Nikiiisyme. You can also join the Love Unleashed group. It's a free group and I share a lot of epic, valuable content in there for you all, and also on Instagram at Nikii Syme. So today on the show, I am joined by the beautiful Keezia Leigh. Keezia is a beautiful friend of mine who I met in a workshop last year, actually in 2018. And it's been an absolute honor to witness this woman go from strength to strength. So today we are talking of all things self-confidence and how to build confidence. And she shares her story with you from going from that awkward, like feeling unattractive, like so unsure teen, through her journey with alcohol and using alcohol as confidence, that Dutch courage, to then releasing the alcohol and building true self-confidence. So it's a really incredible conversation. I know you guys are going to get so much out of it, and I cannot wait to hear what you think. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. All right, gorgeous woman, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Nikii, for having me.
So I want to start off with, a lot of people who would see you online and meet you in person would just be like, damn, this girl is confident, right? She just fucking owns herself. But yeah. I want to know, was it always like that?
No, no, definitely not. It's such an interesting group topic, and I was reflecting over in the car this morning, knowing this was coming, and it's such an interesting transition from my high school teenage years. I don't know about you, but I freaking hated being a teenager.
Hated it. I was so insecure. I couldn't even talk to people.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy, eh? Like, I do not wish to go back to teenage years ever again. And I remember and I think, this world that we live in now, I mean, even, 15 years ago for us, or 20 years ago for us, it was there was still this massive comparison story, and especially for young women. And I think it's probably even heightened now, with social media and the consumerism, and this fucking comparison thing is next level. And I just remember I was always tall, I'm 5'11". I had this frizzy frou-frou. My friends used to call me frou-frou because I had this frizzy frou-frou hair. None of the boys liked me. So I kind of just developed this, I think I kind of developed this funny thing, because I was like, well, I got to get people to like me somehow. So why don't I just develop this funny thing? And I used to sweat under my armpits profusely. I had acne. I was so unconfident. And then
all of the awkwardness.
All of the fucking awkwardness. And I went through, I think I left high school and I came into this period when I moved to Australia, and I discovered alcohol. And alcohol and me gave me this confidence, this unwavering confidence. And then I got into hair and makeup, and I probably, the duckling started to turn more into the swan, and I was starting to get all this attention from boys, and I was like, oh wow, this is a thing. But all of my confidence was tied up in alcohol. I felt like the only time that I could be confident was when I was drinking. Mm-hmm. So from 17 to 29, every single weekend was pretty much spent binge drinking.
I think a lot of people listening to this will be able to relate to that. I sure can. It was
crazy.
Alcohol, Dutch courage, right?
Yeah. And it allowed this version of me. I don't know about you, but I used to love dancing, but I would just be I met some of my best friends in the smoking era at Birdie Num Nums. I know you're a Brisbane girl, so you might know Birdie Num Nums.
I can relate to the smoking thing. You're hey, girl.
Hey, just how you going? Just having a couple of pingers, having a couple of E's.
Yes.
But that was my that was my connection time. And it's the only way I thought people would like me.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I definitely have not always been as confident. Definitely not.
So what was the shift? What was the catalyst to change? And yeah, how did it come about?
One of the big things was 2 weeks before my sister's wedding, and my mum passed away when I was 17, and you know, it was 2 weeks before her wedding, and I tried to give up drinking so many times. You know, like, what am I doing with my life? And it was 2 weeks before my sister's wedding, and I just got this like download in the middle of the night. It's like, you've got to stop. Like, this cannot be. You cannot be the drunk girl at your only sister's wedding and ruin it for her. Like, because I just couldn't control myself. Like, I literally would have one, and I would be 10 in. Yeah. You know, within 3 hours.
Lots of drinker's remorse, and like I've always found that I'd get drunk and I'd be like, yeah, life of the party, and the next day I'd wake up and be like, what did I do? Like, I felt worse than I did before.
Yeah, the shame and guilt, like that was the worst part of all of it. And yeah, I just got this download. It's like, you're just going to stop drinking, and I stopped drinking for a year. And
it's like that, cold turkey.
Yeah, it's cold turkey.
Wow, awesome.
It was. You know how you know? It's just like that fucking download, and you're like, this is it. This is coming through me right now. And I was like, I'm done. I'm so done. And that just helped me to kind of, you know, that was like 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago now. And that just kind of allowed the fog to start to like ease, because then they know that alcohol will actually stay in your system for 7 days. So you've got this like fog, this haze in your like field for 7 days after you drink. Yeah, so imagine if you never stop drinking.
You're just constantly drunk.
Fucking hazy. Just yeah. It's like lowers your vibration. Actually, the last time I drank, that like before my last drinking, I left my body for 3 hours. Like, I don't remember anything. And they actually say that your soul just goes, nah, this is too much. Like, I can't handle this right now.
Wow.
I was like, that makes sense. So I just spent the last 2 years fully working on all of my self-love, all of my confidence stuff, all of my like just forgiving myself.
So this is just recent, like in the last couple of years? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, cool.
I mean, I've always had like a bubbly personality, you know, and I owned a business and so on, and even through that time, but the real confidence. And I mean, I still am a human, and I still wear masks, and I still realize that a lot of my shadow is invalidation.
Yes. We saw Cody speak last night, and it was just like, oh shit.
That's me? Is that what it was like?
Yeah, there was like just like, oh, like when he was talking about your last transformation is your ego's next like power trip, and it's like, oh fuck, it is too. Like, just those realizations and those truth bombs was like, shit. So
whoa.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So like fully honoring that is part of me, and fully like kind of acknowledging that as well. But yeah, the last 2 years of just like, you know, fully just kind of accepting that I can't change my height. I can't change my hair. I freaking love my hair now. Yeah. I can't, you know, all I can change is how I feel on the inside. And just when I stopped, like, I still care about what people think. Like, I'm a human being with feelings, but when I truly, when I keep coming back to what's important to me and what I need for my happiness, which is, you know, a few close friends, nature, beach, living my purpose, you know, all the rest is just noise. Even what I post online is just noise. It's all just noise. Yeah. Like, I know who I am, and if I love my heart and I love that part of me, that allows me to just step into this world and be whoever I choose, like, on the day, and stop trying to constantly look for validation outside of myself.
I like what you said just there about be who I choose to be on the day, because it changes, right? Like, for me this morning, I woke up and I'm tired and I'm just like, I just want to lie on the couch and not do much. Yeah. But yesterday I woke up and I was like, yeah, let's go, like, life. And it's that acceptance that we are changeable. We're human beings. Like, we're not always going to be on and up and bubbly and high vibe, you know, and we get to honor that and just be ourselves, right?
Totally. Like, because you can just swap one set of belief systems with another.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but like with the pendulum swing, it's like when I went from I think we've got to do it. It's like when we do with dating as well. You probably teach this. It's like you either date someone who's totally like your dad or nothing at all like your dad. And you kind of just like, and I think that's what it's like with like swapping this belief. And then you go in the other one and like full spiritual, full this. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm a human being, and I fuck up and I'm not perfect, and that's okay.
Yes. And it's okay. And like just tying it in with that dating stuff, that was very much like the catalyst for me when I met Gary, my king, was like, I'd done all of this work on myself to get to that point where I was just like, I really fucking like who I am. I really fucking love my life. Like, I'm so comfortable with being in my own skin and just being by myself that if I meet someone, amazing. And if I don't, amazing. I knew in my soul and my heart that I was going to have an incredible life either way because I had me, right? And then that allowed me to attract in a human who was on the same kind of vibration as that. So it's that really that relationship with self. And it's like that swing. It's like you can pendulum back and forth. It's like, daddy, polar opposite, but then sometimes it's just about finding that beautiful middle ground and finding where you sit in that middle ground first and then attracting from that space.
Yeah. What's your views on like, I'm going to ask you a question now, is that okay?
Role reverse.
but like, I'm in this interesting place now, and I've noticed like my story, especially because relationships and relating has been such a pain point because of my drugs and alcohol, and and I it's so fascinating to watch my mind go, oh, I'm just, I'm not quite ready yet. Oh, I still need to just fix this little part, and there's this like, I know you talk about your king, and it's just like, I'm constantly in that unraveling of like, especially this because it is an edge for me, like, oh, to date, to not to date, to like date someone that is on my energetic level, or date someone that's like, maybe I should just try dating. And I don't even know what my question is, but
for me, like what came through was that it's fear-based, right? It's like there's an element of fear there of getting hurt or putting yourself out there again. And when people say to me, oh, I don't think I'm ready, I'm like, it's not, you just haven't decided yet. Not that you're not ready, you're just not choosing it yet. When you go, yes, I actually want to call someone in, then universe, as it does, is like, okay, cool. Where are you at? And you'll attract the mirror, and it'll show you where you still get to grow and shift and pivot. And it may last and it may not, and then it may release, and then you'll be like, okay, cool, realignment. Yes, I definitely want this, but it's in the asking for it, right? It's going, yes, universe, this is what I want now, and allowing it to come in.
That's great. Thanks. I'm like, give me some stuff. I'm just going to take you. But that's a piece too around confidence. Like, like just all of us. Like people might see me online and be like, oh, she's got it all figured out. It's like, fucking don't. Like there's still definitely elements of my life where we all have our work to do, And I think confidence is also just like accepting. It comes back to this being human piece again. I just got this come through. Like, it's just like fully accepting your human self.
Yeah. And the confidence in the mess as well, right? Like, and that's the self-ownership. It's like, I own every part of me that allows me to be loved in mess and loved in my magic and accept myself. And it's really just, when it comes down to it for me, I don't know if this is for you, but it's that self-acceptance piece. I'm going, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to be and show up, and you're going to see all of me, and I'm okay with that.
I agree, especially because I was so conditioned in our world. Like I even just think about things that I feel like uncomfortable, and I'm like, wow, it's so fascinating that I still feel so uncomfortable to be vulnerable in front of people. Like it's just so conditioned.
Vulnerability's scary though, right? Like, vulnerability means that you can actually hurt me. I'm actually allowing you in, but there's so much power in that at the same time. It's like when we step into that space of speaking our truth from a place of ownership and love, and allowing someone to know when they hurt you or upset you from that loving space, not the attacking space. The power in that is just like, I honor myself. I honor my feelings, and I get to express that. It's fucking amazing.
How do you feel like you build the confidence to keep doing that? it's like you can have the awareness around it that you know this is not something, but like, what are things that you think are great to kind of keep leaning into it and to build the confidence to like just be like, okay, I'm good with being vulnerable now.
Just doing it, right? It's like facing
Yeah.
fear. It's like as soon as you do it, the less fearful you become. So it's like, okay, I really need to speak my truth right now. Okay, I'm just going to feel the fear and do it anyway. And the more you do it, the more, and I don't think it ever becomes completely comfortable because you're constantly like different things. Like with Gary, I'm pretty open with it now and I can express to him what's going on. I've done it so many times. But the first time I did it, I was like this, right? Like shaking like shit because it was terrifying. And that's totally to be expected. But it's like the more you practice something, the more confidence comes from practice, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I teach like everyone, you know, like about social media and getting on lives, and it's just like, just do it. You just keep doing it and just keep trusting your writing and just keep showing up online and just, you know, these things take time. It's like anything.
Absolutely. So when you so you had the awareness, it dropped in that you're like, all right, I need to stop drinking.
Yeah.
Can you hear the truck?
No.
Okay, cool. I need to stop drinking. So you'd made that decision. So from there, what did that journey look like? Because obviously, like, you would have gone through a bit of a come down as well, and like, oh my God, like, and now I don't have this vice to give me fake confidence.
Yeah.
How did you start to rebuild that confidence within yourself to be able to show up in the way that you do now?
Yeah. It was interesting because it was about, that was in the August, and then of January, I made a commitment to sell my hairdressing salon. So it's like, as soon as I'd taken the haze off, I was allowed, you know, I just kind of said that I was going to continue to clean out my pipe. And I'd kind of done some like self-development and business development, like, you know, for quite a long time. And even spirituality has been in my life for a long time, you know, so I kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna, these things kept showing up. And because I'd taken the alcohol off, I was beginning to start to listen more clearly to the cosmic whispers, you know, the little downloads, a little like, oh, okay, maybe I should listen to that. And rebuilding my confidence was like, you know, one was like excavating my shit, like doing healing, doing like forgiveness things, doing self-development, like getting coaches, anyone that I pretty much thought or could support me into helping to like heal myself and like excavate some of the pain and rebuild, you know, forgiving myself was like one of the biggest ones. Like even now, like, you know, just even the problems that I've had like with my body and like my down there stuff from like years of abuse, like it's like, oh girl, you've got to heal this shit now, like because you abused me for so long, and you know, all of the pieces. So just, you know, putting one foot in front of the other every day, and then realizing that, you know, especially after I did plant medicine last year, that all of it's just a game anyway. Business, life, relationships, you know, and what am I committed to? I'm committed to having a life of joy and fun and play and pleasure and deep connection and intimacy and feeling it all, and just like being okay with losing it all. And like that, my confidence comes from trusting myself. Like deeply trusting myself. And I know this probably aligns to you. It's like the reason that I'm able to do what I do is because I trust myself. And I trust that I'm always being led in the right path. And it's like, that doesn't even matter. Like, even if, because I know that I'm going to die, that even if I lose everything tomorrow, it's like, what's there to lose? Like what's my worst possible outcome? And that just still, and that's like, well, I mean, I've lost it all. I've had $1 million business and I've lost it, and I've had money, and I'm, you know, I'm like, cool, I can create money. It's just another fun game that I can play.
Yes.
And now I'm just like, well, okay, what makes me happy? I'm like, right now, playing business and having fun and inspiring people, but tomorrow, my soul might be like, no, you need a break for a year. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And how can we trust ourselves? And that's the sort of confidence that is just like so unwavering. That's like a full foot, like I always talk about this, especially with my clients. I'm like, what's in your life that's not a full body fuck yes? Because everything out of that, like, gets to leave.
Yeah, I'm in that space at the moment, like the shedding, because I know like I've got some massive stuff coming in this year, and it's like, what gets to go now? What's not in full alignment anymore? What's taking up space and time in my life that doesn't feel good? Or is it full body fuck yes, and it gets to be released, right? But I think a lot of people are really afraid of that as well. It's like, but if I let go of those friends, then I'll have no friends. Or if I let go of that business, then I'll have no business or no money. Or it's like, my lessons and my experience with this has always been, when I let go, something more like fuck yes comes along, right? Every single time.
Yeah.
So the
every single time.
Like, what was it that really started building that for you? Was it just trusting like listening to the nudges and saying yes and yes and leaning in more and more?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like when I got the download, just like once I quit drinking, got that download, then I got the download of like, okay, you're going to sell the business, even though it never made, like, didn't make sense to anyone. They're like, why would you sell a business that pretty much runs without you and is turning over like nearly $1 million a year and you can travel when you want? I'm just like, I don't know, but I just knew. So I kept, and I set the intention, like, okay, I'm going to, like, by the end of financial year, it's going to be completely gone. And I'm going to bring in this much money. And literally I handed the keys to the new owner 5 days before the end of financial year.
Wow.
Like, so I just kept like trusting the downloads and trusting that I was always being led, and just, I was almost like testing. It's like this game of like, well, if I follow that nudge, it hasn't led me wrong so far.
So when you say nudge, is it like, just so that people are listening?
Yeah.
Like, what is the nudge? Is it a feeling in the body? Is it a voice in the head? Like, what have you found?
I found, yeah, it's probably a bit of both. Like, it's like probably a voice in the head. Like, and you might get, I use this like analogy, the feather, the brick, and the train analogy. And I had it with the salon. So the feather was like, so it's like you're getting all these little like whispers. So it's like the feather was like, I went walked the Camino de Santiago, which is like a 800-kilometer hike across the top of Spain. And when I was there, I was like, oh my God. And I was questioning everything. So that was like my first starting to question of the salon. And I got the brick, which was my drinking. And it was just like, fuck, okay, this is another brick. And I was like, maybe I'm not meant to have the salon. And then the train came, and it was literally like, I got a business coach, and he's just like, he's just like, what are you feeling? I was like, I was about to spend $150K on rebuilding a new salon. And he's like, what are you feeling in your business? I'm like, trapped, suffocated. I was like, fuck. That's not a good sign.
Red flags.
So it's like these little nudges are like, I'm like, imagine if the little nudge was like, you chose that, like, imagine if we choose right now that this conversation means something. And that for whatever reason, this conversation was meant to happen. And that, like, later on today, I'm like, fuck, that's why that came into my vortex. And you're like, fuck, that's why that came into my vortex. Like, what if we were to trust that everything was giving us whispers and directions? So if these little things keep coming into our vortex, it's like, maybe that's like, or thoughts or random meetings of people, and you're like, wow, that was so fucking weird. Like, maybe that's your little nudge. And soul's like, go that way.
Yes.
Because one of the things I say is like, if you don't choose it, it will choose you.
Yeah. Well,
and that's like,
it won't miss you, right? Like, it won't fucking miss you.
Yeah. And that's like disease or the fucking car accident or the, like something that soul will just like shake you, I reckon, and just go, what are you doing?
How often do you hear about people who are like, I need to rest, I need to stop, I need to rest, and they don't, and they keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then an accident happens and they're forced to stop. One of my girlfriends, her partner just went through this, where he fell off a balcony in Spain, a balcony, and he had been hustling and pushing and pushing and pushing, and was saying, I need to stop, I need to rest, and universe just came in and said, right, mate, you're not listening to us. It's happening now.
Yeah.
I think Preston tells a story about a woman who was the same. She was just go, 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 go constantly. And she walked out onto the street and got hit by a bus and was forced to stop.
Yeah.
Because if you don't listen, the universe will intervene and make it happen for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that whole like nudges thing is like, I had that with proximity. When the moment I heard about proximity, my soul went, you're in there. That's for you. I was like, oh no, I'm going to go over here and look at this and explore this and avoid that and not listen to that nudge because it felt really scary and a little bit overwhelming and like, oh my God, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But my soul knew instantly. As soon as I heard it, it was like, you're in there. I was like, fuck. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think we like, if we look at, and I know you can relate to this, that like every bad, not even experience has been for us, you know, it's like, we have to go through that to build the resilience and the trust.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to escape hard times. Like it's just part of being human.
Yeah.
And one of my quotes from this surrender YouTube thing I listened to, I can't remember who writes it, but she's like, your life, can you trust that, you know, the chaos and disharmony is reorganizing your life to call in new levels of alignment all the time. So the you know the disharmony and the chaos is like just bringing you back into alignment all the time.
Yes, and that was so true. Like because I had a miscarriage earlier in the year at 11 weeks, and it was full trust, like full trust. Yeah, it was painful and it hurt and it was a shitty experience, but it was full trust and knowing that it was for the greater good. And from that, my relationship became my focus, because that, I believe, is the reason that baby was like, I'm not fucking coming in here because you guys need to sort your shit out. So now that experience forced us to look at our relationship, come back into alignment to create a loving environment for a baby to come into, right? It's like things, yet you kind of go, oh, this shitty thing happens to me in that victim mode. A lot of people kind of kicks in. It's like, this happened to me, and because of this, then I'm this and this and this. And it's like, no, we get to shift the perception. We get to shift the way that we look at things and go, how is this working for me? How is this happening for me? What's the lesson here? What do I get to learn here? Yeah, it's a shitty fucking experience, and you still get to be in that moment, in that shitty experience, but you also get to let it go and look for the blessings.
Yeah, totally.
That shit's fucking powerful, right?
Which just allows, you know, and the reason for all of it is to allow a life of more joy. Like we can experience the emotions, but we don't have to live in them. I like, you know, and while I know some people talk about neutrality and like, you know, we just live from a space of neutral. I'm like, no, I want to live in joy. I want to feel as much joy as possible. Like that's my commitment. And I, you know, sometimes that means that I will not go into my shadow or avoid because of my conditioning and being the strong one for so long. But I also am, you know, conditioning myself and have tools to help me like go, okay, there's a sensation and an emotion here, and I'm trying to band-aid myself right now. What do I need to actually look at? You know, and
it doesn't have to be heavy either, right? Like,
yeah,
I find now, like, yeah, these things happen and they're not ideal, but there's like a sense of just contentment with everything. It's like, okay, yeah, this is happening. Don't love it, but I'm okay with it because I know that it's all for greater good, a reason, whatever that may be. But to get to that point is really that self-trust, right? And leaning into shifting the perception of this is happening to me.
Yeah.
As opposed to happening for me. Yeah.
And you think about like, you know, you having a miscarriage, like there can be associated grief. You know, I'm not speaking for your experience, but, you know, like having done the work, like I think about if I lost my mum now, what would that experience look like? And I know there would be grief, but would it not be as tough? You know, and you can never compare because you just don't know. But
well, I found it was like in the past things would have happened. So I remember I had a friend die who was a catalyst for a lot of my change, but the grieving process with that was weeks, and that was the catalyst for me to actually start making some change. Whereas this time around with the miscarriage, it was, okay, I'm feeling this. And like you said about the emotion, it's like we can choose to experience but not live in it. I was like, right, I know that emotions last about 36 hours in the body or something, and then whatever we've experienced after that we create with our thoughts and relive the experience. So I was like, right, I've given myself 4 days. Gary had a 4-day weekend. I said, I've got 4 days to do whatever I need to do. And all I did in that moment, in those 4 days, I canceled all my appointments, everything. I just completely shut off. And I was like, okay, so what do I need today? And one day it was lie in bed, watch sad movies and cry. The next day it was take your boys to the museum and look at the dinosaurs. The next day was go out into the nature and just get lost in the woods for a little bit. And it was like, okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I did a closure ceremony, and that's when I let it go and I released it. I thought about it, but I didn't have the emotion attached to it anymore because I went through the process of actually allowing myself to feel it, for it to move through me, to then be able to create that space and that peace for myself to let it go and move and learn from
it. Amazing.
But I was in like a miscarriage group, and there was women in there who were like 1-2 years on from their miscarriage and still grieving. And I'm like, but then it becomes identity as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like
significance.
Yeah, this is how I now feel love, because when I'm sad, I get loved. And
I mean, it's pretty amazing and still like frustrating and amazing that we have created lives now where, and this is what I want the world to be, where we can be accepted in all of our emotion and like take the time when we need and go, you know what, I have the tools now. I know that I can't avoid the human experience, but I'm going to take the time to process for 3 or 4 days. And like, people are like, yeah, that's cool. Of course, that's what you do. Not band-aid it with fucking more schedules and busyness. And, you know, I'm like, that's a world that I want to create, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's like, I know it's like, for us, it's frustrating because it's still so, and sometimes we forget that because like we're just in our fucking love bubble of community.
I know.
We're like, oh wow, people still like, yeah. So it's amazing.
For those listening, for anyone who's kind of struggling with confidence, is there like 3 tips that you can give them in order to start building more self-confidence?
Yeah. Tangible tools are always good. And they're always hard for me because I'm like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just do this. It's easy.
So, you know, it's easy. Everyone's like, Keezia, tools. I'm like, tools, okay. Tangible tools. I think, you know, challenge yourself to do stuff that you haven't done before, you know, and you know, if that feels scary, you know, like do your first live on Facebook and get a friend to support you in that and go, you know, let's do it together and have that support, you know, like find things that feel a little bit uncomfortable to push you into your edge a little bit, because nothing good comes from comfort zones. Nothing exciting comes from comfort zones. So, you know, stretch yourself out a little bit, like, and, you know, or it could be even things like, you know, if you have struggling with confidence around dating, like ask the guy out that you like think that wouldn't say yes to you. You know, like I've been playing in that one. I'm like, cool, okay, this is a stage for me. Like, you know, try doing things that feel a little bit scary, and just keep testing, because I feel like when you keep testing and you keep getting good results, it just builds this resilience. You're like, oh, okay, I can do this. And just tell yourself every fucking day that you're a legend. That would be my final tip. And do a legend dance, like, and the money dance. I love money and money loves me. I'm a legend and I love me. I'm a legend and I love me.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Love it.
But that's the vibration, you know, like, because we know that our words are so powerful, and even if we're speaking them in our own heads, that repetition of like, I fucking hate myself and I'm disgusting, like no one else might hear it, but you're hearing it.
So is the universe, right?
Yeah.
So it's just
absolutely
validated. Yeah. So bringing that awareness to your thoughts that are going through your head on a daily basis. And something I do with my clients is, you know, bringing the awareness to the thoughts and then choosing a different thought. Choosing is something counteractive? Yeah. That counteracts that negative belief.
Yeah.
To create more of what you actually want, right? Powerful. We have creators, so we get to choose everything, and as well as your thoughts. You're not controlled by this. You get to control it. You get to choose.
Amazing.
Yes. All right, my love. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was lovely to have you on the show, and thank you for sharing your little your wisdom around confidence and your journey. And yeah, I'm sure the listeners and viewers will have got a lot out of it.
Thank you for having me, Nikki. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Mwah.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, so what did you think? And I love that she ended up interviewing me as well. So you guys got even some extra bonus valuable content in there, however it was that. So it's really beautiful to hear her journey, right? And I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to the alcohol thing. I sure could. Like, I felt so insecure, so like no confidence when I was younger. And then alcohol came along. I'm like, yeah, if I drink this and I'm good fun and you know, I'm happy and I'm confident and people want to be around me. And it was like, no, that's not serving me. Not serving me at all. So it was a really beautiful journey, and it was really lovely to hear Keezia talk about that too. So I hope you guys got some epic value out of that. If you want to connect with Keezia, you can check out the show notes. All her information is in there. And make sure if you've listened to this and it's like vibed for you and you're like, hell yes, then please hit that subscribe button and then share this with any of your friends who need to hear this. I know confidence is a big thing that plagues a lot of women. You know, we're brought into this world to compare essentially, or taught to be in comparison and competition all the time. So confidence is a really, really, really key area that we get to all like look at and really build within ourselves, build that ownership and that self-trust so that we can actually hold our heads high and celebrate each other and stop that comparison, right? All right, my loves, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I cannot wait until next time. I'll see and speak to you again very, very soon. Bye.